Too many times we come across the unfortunate circumstance of seeing the city taped off. As you can see, all this caution tape. When you see caution tape, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? A homicide, right? A homicide, right? That's the first thing that comes to your mind is a homicide, right? You see this young brother right there? He not going home tonight. He not going home tonight. His family, this young brother is dead.
What's going on, good people? We back with yet another episode of With Time We Can. For today's episode, got my good friend Adam here. I met Adam, actually I just met him. He did a powerful demonstration on Broad and Erie, talking about the gun violence in Philadelphia. So I just had to reach out to him, pick his brain, and from the grace of God, he was nice enough to give me this interview. So thank you, my brother.
Absolutely, much appreciated, man. Thank you for reaching out to me.
Definitely, man. So we just wanted to get started, man. This is a prison platform. It's a platform to highlight re-entrance in Philadelphia and abroad and the positive things that they're doing in the community. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, man, is your organization called Sistatalk.
Okay.
So if you don't mind telling the viewers, man, give us a little bit of information on that Sistatalk, man. It's so interesting and intriguing.
So I created Sistatalk as an avenue to support African American women unconditionally. I actually started out with a youth organization called Stay Focused PHL. Mm-hmm. That is the organization that my nonprofit is actually under. That is the title on which it's actually under, but the nickname is Sistatalk.
Okay.
Eventually, I want to transition, that title over, for the simple fact because that's now my mission, and within that mission, I can still gravitate towards the youth. Within that mission, I can still, conduct those type of, programs for their children.
Right.
So Sistatalk is very dear to me. It came about 2 years ago, I want to say, June 10th to be exact. 2018, I was in a car accident coming back from Maryland. I was, actually Virginia. I was doing a photo shoot. I was a photographer. And I was real tired. I fell asleep at the wheel, and next I woke up in Prince George Hospital. The only thing that the EMTs recovered from the crash was my laptops. My briefcase and everything like that was in the front of the car. Once, they got me and everything like that. And for 2 days, I sat in Prince George Hospital with no way to get home.
Wow.
If it wasn't for my friend David, I would have never, my mom was talking about driving all the way down there. She's real, but that's a woman for you. My mom was like, listen, I'll drive down there. Like, Mom, listen, you damn near 60. You're not driving to no Prince George County. You don't even know how to use GPS. We're not doing all that. Like, I'll Uber for all that. You know what I mean? But just like the unconditional efforts that Black women will take to, make sure that their sons are okay.
Right.
And through those 2 days, I did a lot of meditating. I talked to my mom, and, she just said, God is going to use you for whatever it is, I don't know, but, while you laying in that hospital bed, like, get your shit together, because you could have died, young boy, like, and that's the conversation that we had.
Wow. Deep.
And for 2 days, I created Sistatalk.
Wow.
For 2 days. For 2 days. And then I just went completely into Sistatalk mode for like 6 months.
Wow.
So from June 10th, 2018, all the way until about maybe November-ish, the late November, I was unemployed.
And you was just doing Sistatalk.
Just doing it. And my first event was on July 27th. So mind you, I got into the car accident June 10th. By June 12th, Sistatalk was already a form and it was already a movement in my mind was going to be created.
Okay.
And July 27th, we had our first event. And we had 3 events that year.
Wow.
Broke, unemployed. But my thing is, that's the essence of a mom. I'm not saying broke and unemployed, but I'm saying a mom will make things happen for her family no matter what. And that's how I move with Sistatalk. I move the way my mom moves. I watched her walk to work. I watched her, wash clothes in the tub. I watched her, pray for me. I watched her barricade her door, because she was afraid somebody was going to run in the house and knock me off or knock her off. So, I watched what she went through, but I also watched the dedication. I watched all the good things, and her strength, it admired me. To this day, I consider my mom to be my superwoman. That's my hero. That's my angel. I put no one above God, but that would be the running mate.
Yeah, definitely. You God on earth, man.
So without her, there is no me.
Right.
Just like without God, there is no me. You have to look at women in that godly fashion.
Right.
Yes, we help with the procreation, but women give life.
Right.
And women take care of the life that they give. So now it's time for us to take care of women. And that's just, Sistatalk is just a blessing. It's my way to give back. But to get to the program, so we started out offering bi-monthly community events. Okay. So whereas though we would get women that were, advancing in their field, whatever it may be, whether it's mental health, whether it's health services, whether they're engineers, whether they have their own contracting business, consulting, whatever it is, we wanted to give them a platform to where they can talk to the other women in the community. Okay. So, we would have getting to know the queen in the mirror, understanding mind, body, and soul. We would have do I stay or do I leave? A journey in domestic violence. These are some of the topics, from the events that we had. So, we would cover these different taboo topics amongst Black women, but it would be in a circle of Black women, and it kind of creates a sisterhood. And then what we would do is we would bring out vendors. All of our vendors are minority women, or African American women. We want to support the community. We want to say, buy Black, give your money back to, a working mom, a single mom, and a mompreneur is what they are calling them now.
I like that.
So we said, why not let's generate money within because that's what they do. Women bond together.
Right.
So now it's time to bond together, share resources, share finances, share goals, and then you can birth from there.
Now, is this just a Philadelphia thing, or is it the surrounding counties, other cities?
So it is Philadelphia, tri-state. If you may call it. We may have an event here and there in the different counties, Delaware County. Okay. More so than anything. Yeah. But outside of that, it's Philadelphia based.
Okay.
My thing is, don't get me wrong, my vision is worldwide. I think Sistatalk's gonna be everywhere.
Yeah.
Let me tell it. But at the same time, it's just local.
I got a question, man. Do you get, this is just my curiosity playing with me, like, do you get backlash at all from being like a man doing the Sistatalk? Like, a lot of women may even feel like, I appreciate what he's doing, but he is a man and maybe he's not the one to do that. Have you ever ran across that?
I mean, yes, but I don't pay that no never mind. I don't. Like, my thing is, you do you, sis.
Right. And I'm gonna do me.
And I'm gonna do me. Right. Like, if you support the fact that I support you, then support me in supporting you. But if you don't support me, I'm still gonna support you. Realistically, you don't have a lot of Black men behind the position of, leading Black female organizations. You don't. So it's like, I'm an oddball, but I've always been an oddball.
You're comfortable being uncomfortable.
But I mean, listen, I've gotten blessed. I've gotten donations from individuals, and I've talked to individuals to where they'll, once they found out that I was a man, they wanted to give me more. And it wasn't even on anything, ill or unprofessional. It was just like, yo, that's dope as shit, bro. Like, you know what? Here you go. Here's something extra for you. You know what I mean? Like, some lady gave me a $30 donation, and then when I told her, she was like, hey, sis, I just sent you $30. And I was like, ooh, I'm not a sis. I'm a dude. I'm a whole old man over here. She started laughing, and she was like, oh, that's real cool. And she was like, check your Cash App. And then she was like, just for being you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, like I got a $20 tip today just for being me. But I know it's appreciated. I know not everybody is going to take to it. Mm-hmm. Some people look at me like I'm crazy, but at the end of the day, like, we do it satisfies us.
I saw on your Facebook that you had spent some time upstate, correct?
Yep.
All right, and if you don't mind, like, could you speak a little bit on that, just because that's a part of the platform, and I just want people to understand the type of man you are, and from where you came from to where you are right now.
So, I just want to be very clear on this, right? I was a nerd growing up, okay? Like, my nickname was Urkel. Steve Urkel, that was my nickname. I did not get I didn't get anywhere in life with friends and, people liked me and stuff like that, but it was like, I was like an oddball. I was always by myself. I was a nerd, you know what I mean? Like my mom was always moving around, or, I was always getting dropped off at a different sibling's house, whatever the situation may be. As I got older, I made friends, but then I didn't make all the right friends. Then I ended up in the streets, I ended up running the streets, and I'm not even gonna say they wasn't the right friends. We didn't know no better. And some of these individuals I still love to this day, they still my guys. Yep. But at the end of the day, we didn't know no better. And I have to take ownership for the things that I have done growing up.
Right.
And when we started, getting into, carjack or it started out as car hopping. Okay. And then it started into stealing cars. And then it started selling drugs. And then it got to the point where I was getting my homies to sell drugs with me that wasn't selling drugs, because I started hanging out with some city niggas. Because I was in a county growing up. So, I didn't grow up in the inner city like a lot of people. That's why I told you the other day, like, a lot of my homies, their stories are a little bit more graphic than mine. Don't get me wrong, I done seen some shit. I done been a part of some stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, they have those real trenches moments.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And we all have them in some fashions, but it's like, mine were like more mild than rough. They didn't get rough until I got older. Until I went to prison. Okay. They tried to off me when I was 16, when I was in juvie. They beat me with baseball bats and all that crazy stuff. And, I'm sitting up there with, in the hospital. My mom is trying to figure out what's going on. I got metal plates all in my mouth.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I got metal plates.
The guards beat you?
No, we was in juvie, bro. Like, it's every man for themselves in juvie.
Man.
You get blanket parties and all that. Like, ain't nobody, like, listen. Juvie's a whole different monster, right? Yeah. But neither here nor there. It was like, I was in juvenile placement for about maybe like 18 months. Okay. I had juvenile life. I was medicine society. My mom had deemed me unfit to be in society. We had a whole bunch of court proceedings. I had an aggravated assault. So, a lot of things got real hectic for me. Okay. And then I just started binging on bad behaviors. Okay. Like I said, I ended up in juvie. I ended up in juvie when I was 16. Had juvenile life. I got out when I was 18. They rescinded everything. I made progress while I was there. I was on the honor roll and everything like that. Like, I was a very bright individual. We had court proceedings, and they say, well, listen, he's about to turn 18. Once he turns 18, we're going to send him to Newcastle State Max. Really? That's the maximum security for juveniles. Okay. So we're going to send him to Newcastle State Max once he turns 18, if we don't figure out what's going on. As of right now, you have deemed him unfit to be in the house because he has harmed you, he has harmed other individuals, and you just don't deem him safe. You found him with, numerous firearms, you turned them in, and people will tell you, my mom, she would find drugs in the house and she would flush it. She would, she found a gun, she tucked it in, I had to go on a run. It was a lot. My mom was a cop. She was a cop. Like not like a badge cop, but like my mom was like one of those individuals. Like I'm a cop for the Lord. I'm Jesus' cop, and you're not gonna come in here. I rebuke you. I put and I hated that shit.
Yeah.
I did. I hated it with a passion. And it just pushed me farther into the streets.
Right.
And then I just got sucked in. I started doing drugs. I started doing wet when I was like 16, 17.
Jeez.
And I'm in placement at this time, so I'm smoking wet mint leaves in placement at 17 years old out Pittsburgh,
Wow.
high out my mind. I came home with a drug addiction. I went in jail, I went in juvenile placement smoking weed. I came out smoking PCP.
Wow.
So when I came out on the streets, it was like, I'm out here, I'm selling dope now, I'm selling crack now, I'm selling powder, I'm robbing niggas, I'm hanging with a whole bunch of individuals that don't give a fuck about nothing.
Right.
And it's just turning into bad choices after bad choices. Cops running down on us, kicking in doors to houses and everything like that. And like, this is real shit. Like, this is not like to be fabricated or nothing like that. But it's like, the reality in which we're facing. We're jumping out of 3-story windows, trying to climb into other people's houses and everything like that because the cops is blocking off the street. And it's like, okay, well, is this how you really want to live as a black man? I wasn't even home a year before I was facing almost, 10 plus years.
So from your juvenile sentence,
so when I came home from my juvenile sentence, after doing 18 months, I wasn't even home a year before I was back upstate doing almost a dime.
Yo, this is crazy, man.
And my thing is, it was just the choices.
Yeah.
And I mean, I had great days, but I was an addict.
Right.
I was facilitating my addiction, and like a lot of people don't know that. Like I was a fly. I considered myself to be a fly-ass young boy. But I didn't have anything with my money.
Right.
We was smoking weed. We was going to the mall. We was doing stupid shit with our money. Nothing that really calculated against the risk that we were taking. Some people might have been moving and shaking a little bit different than I was. But neither here nor there. We all made each other in jail.
Right.
So my nigga, I got booked in March. Yeah, you had your run until December, but nigga, we were still selling fucked up together.
Right.
So it doesn't even matter because it's like they're not even preparing, and it's like I said, in prison. We were those kids that were transitioning in and out, and we seen it. I grew up in prison, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. You know what I mean? Like all those years just spent where?
Upstate.
So it's like nothing is really coming out of anything. I tell people like, I went to jail when I was 19. Damn near 20. I didn't come home until I was 28. I was given an opportunity for what do they call that? Pre-release?
Yeah, like parole.
I fucked that all up.
Yeah.
I came home, stabbed somebody and everything. It was just I wasn't done being me. And I tell people I was out with people that night and they're like, yo, what happened? What you do? Like we was just chilling. We were just walking down the street. How did you stab 2 people from here to there? Like what happened? And like people are trying to figure out what the hell is going on with me, but it's like it's too late because I'm back in the system.
Right.
No matter what I had going on for myself back in 2010 when I came home from prison, when I was on pre-release for a little bit, by August of 2011 I was back upstate with new charges.
Wow. So in total, how much time did you do?
I want to say with juvenile and adult, I'm going to say roughly 10 years.
Roughly 10 years?
Roughly 10 years. Give or take a couple months.
Okay.
Give or take a couple months, 10 years.
So where was your transition at? Like, when did you throw that life away and start this new life? Was it? I know you talked about the car crash.
I never threw it away.
So what?
I never threw it away. Like I shelved it. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, you know, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not in the streets like in that fashion at all.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I don't feel as though that I need to carry a gun to protect myself because I'm not in that lane of traffic.
Right.
You can't say that for everybody else.
Okay.
Even if I'm around the way, I still don't feel as though that I have to act in that fashion, right? My thing has always been, and I never was like a really, I mean, I had a gun, I shot a gun a couple of times, I've been shot at, you know, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know, that has never really been my reality. Like gun violence. Now, my brother and my sister, they shot my brother 8 times. They shot my sister 4 times on the block together while I was in jail. And then when one of our friends went home to avenge what happened to my brother and my sister, they shot this nigga 7 times in his face, in his doorway. Yep. And he wasn't even home a hot 24 hours. Wow. And that's just the reality. Like, a lot of people think they know me, but they don't. Like, they don't know that I have a brother that is spending all this time in the feds. They don't know that.
Right.
They don't know that my sister was a gun violence victim. They don't know that. You know, they don't know that we deal with certain traumas and everything like that. Everybody doesn't talk about your family. Everybody doesn't know that I have 5 siblings neither.
Right.
I'm talking about blood. I'm not talking about somebody that I grew up with. I have siblings. Not everybody knows my life. I mean, I share enough of my life on social media not to share 100% of it.
Wow.
You know,
you said earlier that this was you wasn't in the trenches. Man, you had a life. I got some experience.
It's not. I mean, it is, but you know. But to go back to answering your question, as far as like when I get out of the mindset, I just paused ignorance.
Okay.
And I listened to wisdom, and that is something that my cellie told me. He said, pause ignorance and listen to wisdom.
Okay.
You know?
Gotcha.
And the reason why he said pause ignorance and listen to wisdom, he said because a lot of you young niggas don't know shit. And he was an old head. You know, his name was Charles Muhammad Cotton. I'll never forget him.
Right.
He was my first thorough cellie upstate. SCI Housedale, 2000 and I want to say 2006, Charles Muhammad Khan told me, young nigga, pause ignorance and open your ears to wisdom. Don't come in my cell with that fuck shit. If you can't read, here goes a book.
Straight like that.
And you know what he gave me?
What?
The Miseducation of a Negro by Carter G. Woodson. And I know, and you want to know what was embarrassing about it?
What?
I couldn't read the bitch.
Wow.
And it wasn't that I was stupid. It was just that there was a lot of words that I did not know, and I was not about to sit here and read this book and then open up this dictionary and then look at this word and then go back to read it. Oh, and I'm not doing all that shit.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't want to do that, then I'll give you another book you can read. Visions for Black Men by Naeem Akbar. That was a very beautiful book for me.
Right.
You know, and he set guidelines and parameters. Like, he was like a dad, a grandpa. You know?
Okay.
And it was like, from that point on, the men in prison conditioned me.
Wow.
Like, don't get me wrong, I had my fights. I was in riots. I stabbed people. You know, I done been in locking socks, and I done locked it in cells and hit niggas with 190 water, all that. Like, we didn't have our trials and tribulations in jail. I spent 18 months in solitary confinement. Like, we've had our trials and tribulations, but at every moment of my prison sentence, there was a man sowing a seed into me.
Wow. Do you think that you needed that?
I needed every bit of it. I would never, ever in my life, I wouldn't give a fuck if they said, listen, we'll make you a trillionaire if we can go back in time and erase your prison entry or your stuff. I wouldn't get this shit up for nothing at all.
Wow.
You know, and the reason why is because it's the man that I am today.
Yeah.
I don't want to change who I am today.
Right.
I'm cool with who I am today. Don't get me wrong, we all got shit to work on.
Right.
But I'm cool with the man that I am today.
Yeah, yo, that's thorough as hell, man. I like that. So I mean, like, so what advice would you give like other people walking in your shoes, man? Because it started as a juvenile and it took you to go to prison for a substantial amount of time to get right. But what about the people that's behind you that you don't want to go through that same path, but you do want them to be a pillar in their communities?
Don't be afraid to be different. We don't stand out in our community because we worried about what people will say. Mm-hmm. We worried about if people will support. We worried about if people will, give us acknowledgement or the accolades or whatever. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. There's a lot of different fashions. But for the youth, most importantly, I was having this conversation with somebody last night. Mr. Curtis. And Mr. Curtis told me last night that the youth don't know their potential. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They don't. Right. The youth, they don't know their purpose. They don't know their potential. They have no wherewithal to figure things out. They're sedated on an hourly basis. Right. Not even on a daily basis. On an hourly basis, our youth are sedated. Mm-hmm. Are under the influence of all types of pills, narcotics, alcohol, and that's our youth. Once you get to like being an adult, like you can say whatever you want to say about somebody that drinks and smokes weed as an adult. Yeah. I mean, but that's the average American. Mm-hmm. The average American smokes weed. I don't care what nobody say. Right. But at the end of the day, whether or not you smoke weed or whether or not you don't smoke weed, that's not a justification. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a thing of adulthood. And if you have your shit together, you could be an adult but don't have your shit together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But these children, they don't have anything together. Mm-hmm. They don't have their emotions together. They don't, and when I say that this is about understanding, they don't have their sexual orientation, in order. Right. They're trying to identify if they want to be, a girl, a boy. And we have to, this is trauma. And this has to be addressed as like, not trauma as you can't do this, but this has to be trauma as these are what we are going through as a youth population. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to worry about somebody killing me. I'm trying to worry about one of these niggas raping me. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to worry about being a single mom. I'm trying to worry about whether my mom is going to accept me because I'm a young homosexual male. I'm worried about if my mom is going to accept me because I'm a young homosexual girl. I'm worried about all types of shit. Right? And this is what we fail to realize. We fail to realize that the youth are screaming out that we have these issues and problems, and yes, you may have things in place, but they're not in place for us. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And when I say they're not in place for us, that means that you don't understand that you guys have to come where we're at. Right. We're not going to you. We're not going to your programs. Mm-hmm. When people say, oh, we got kids that we want you to talk to. All right, well, where are the kids that didn't want to listen?
That's who you...
Where are them kids at? Right. You know what I mean? Oh, we want to help these kids. Yes, you know what? They have a great support system. I don't want to help those kids, though. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I'm not saying that I don't want to be a part of their success. I'm saying that I don't want to help the child that already has the job and is going to school. Mm-hmm. He's doing what the hell he's supposed to be doing. I want to help the brother that's on the corner over there selling this short ass nick bag of weed. Mm-hmm. And pumping gas for a couple dollars. And he didn't have the same clothes on for a couple days. Right. And he trying to stretch dimes that he bought from a different town. Right. Because he ain't got shit. Right. That's what I'm worried about. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about the young individuals that be standing at these different hubs in the city, all day long and trying to figure out where the fuck are your parents at? Mm-hmm. Why ain't nobody checking on you? That's right. Because if I'm your dad, you're not about to be just hanging out on 52nd and Market all day long. Now, don't get me wrong. Like when I say that, like I understand. Like that's the hangout spot. Mm-hmm. I dig what the deuce is. We all know what the deuce is. But that doesn't mean that as a parent, you gotta let your child participate in the shit that happens on the deuce.
Right.
You know your son be out there at that Chinese store every day selling his weed. You know he out there every day with a little fanny pack on, like that, little tracksuit, everything like that. You know this nigga going out there to sell weed. And you know when he come back in, you know, and this is the crazy thing about it, right? Because when I come back in from selling drugs, right, like now I could be, you know, the next individual that goes to jail, be murdered, whatever situation may be. But you know, if this is even the case, I come in and I give you money. Here, mom, you know, I just got finished selling drugs, right? I'm 16, 17 years old, but here, mom, I just got finished selling drugs. Here's the money, right? Oh, thank you, son. Don't die out there in the streets and don't go to jail. I don't like what you're doing.
Be safe.
Be safe, okay? I'm gonna pray for you, right? And for real, that's the conversation that's happening.
Yeah.
Because my thing is this, you know he ain't got no fucking job.
Right.
You know he don't got no job. So where he getting this money from?
Right.
All this money from. And you accepting it. I understand as a mother, it's hard out here, especially if you got a multitude of children and the baby fathers are not helping, but that's accountability within itself. This is another reason why Sistatalk exists. It's not to throw shots at moms, it's to help moms understand like some of these niggas ain't meant to be dealt with.
Right.
If you don't have a sound man that you're dealing with, if I'm just trying to come in the house and fuck on mom and eat up the food and everything like that, and you running the streets, how effective am I as a black man to you as a young black man? The only thing you see me as is a fuck nigga that wants to come in here and slide up and down on my mom.
That's it. Yeah.
So I really don't have respect for men because now what I'm seeing is I'm seeing the lack of respect that my mom has for herself when it comes to choosing men. So now I can be this young man that doesn't have as much respect for women because I see my mother choosing these niggas that don't care about her.
Hey bro, I really appreciate this interview, man. This was one of the best ones, I swear. You dropped jewels on me, man. But before we get out of here, I just want to talk about Sistatalk one more time. If anybody out there want to donate, come to an event, where can they find you? Just go off.
You can find us on Instagram at Sistatalk, Sistatalk PHL. You can find us on Twitter at Sistatalk PHL. We do not have a Facebook. We do not have a website. We will be getting that shortly within, some months. Outside of that, our community initiative that we are creating for the rest of this year, hopefully we can provide this community initiative in 2021 as well. But we are providing free community wash days to single mothers and low-income families all across the city of Philadelphia, in certain parts of the tri-state, more so Delaware County. And with this free laundry service, they will also be providing care packages, mental health services, and we have partnered with the Defenders Association of Philadelphia to bring information and resources to families on systematic injustices, as well as, help youth understand, the importance of prevention when it comes to getting incarcerated. And we're also going to work with expungements for, mothers that have crimes because they were in distress situations. So we're really trying to impact these families. We want this to be very personal. This is, us showing moms that we care and that we love them wholeheartedly. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Peace and blessings. And pay it forward.